How do cattle ranchers make millions of dollars just from raising cows? You've probably seen cows just standing in a field, doing nothing. Looks boring, right? But that boring field could be part of an operation pulling in real money, sometimes millions a year, once you count all the pieces. Think of a cow like a tiny factory on 4 legs that takes in grass and produces calves, meat, and cash. But here's the twist. Most people think ranchers only make money selling meat. Wrong. The real money is hiding somewhere you'd never expect. And it's not just one hidden income stream, it's 3. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the entire money machine behind a cattle ranch, from the dirt under the cow's feet to the paperwork that predicts a calf's value before it's even born. A cattle ranch is not one business. It's 3 stages stacked together. First, there's the cow-calf ranch. This is where calves are born. Second, there's the stocker operation. This is where young cows get bigger. Third, there's the feedlot. This is where cows get fat before they're sold. Think of it like a relay race. One rancher raises the baby. Another rancher grows it. A different rancher finishes it. Each one hands off the cow and takes a paycheck. Here's what that looks like in practice. A cow-calf rancher in Montana might sell a 500-pound calf to a stocker operation in Kansas, where it grazes on wheat pasture for a few months and packs on another 300 pounds. From there, it goes to a feedlot in Texas, where it's fed a high-energy grain diet for around 150 to 180 days, gaining roughly 3 to 4 pounds a day, until it hits market weight, usually around 1,300 to 1,500 pounds. 3 states, 3 ranchers, 3 separate paychecks, all off the same animal. Here's why this matters. Most people think one rancher does it all, from birth to burger. They don't, and that's exactly why there are so many ways to make money in cattle. You don't need the whole race. You just need one leg of it. Some of the wealthiest ranching families only run cow-calf operations. Others specialize entirely in finishing cattle in feedlots. Nobody has to own the whole system to profit from it. The 2 things every ranch needs to even start? Land and a herd of cattle. That's your foundational asset. Everything else builds from there. So that's the 3-stage production chain: cow-calf, stocker, feedlot. But separately, there are also 3 distinct ways ranchers make money off their operation. Let's break those down. Now here's the wild part. The land your cows stand on, it might make you more money than the cows themselves. Revenue stream. 1. Land appreciation and subsidies. Ranch land isn't just dirt. It's an investment. Land tends to go up in value over time, similar to a house, though like any real estate, it can dip during tough farm economies or droughts. Say a rancher buys 500 acres for $1 million. Over a decade or 2, that same land could be worth $2 million. They didn't do anything extra. The land simply appreciated while the cows grazed on it. On top of that, many states offer tax breaks for using land to raise animals, commonly called an ag exemption. Rules vary by state, but generally, if a ranch meets minimum acreage and stocking requirements, it gets taxed based on agricultural use instead of full market value. So instead of paying property tax as if that land were worth $2 million, a qualifying rancher might pay tax as if it were only worth a few $100s an acre. Same land, way smaller tax bill. That's not a small discount. It can save a rancher tens of thousands of dollars every single year. And it doesn't stop at tax breaks. Many ranchers also collect government conservation payments for things like rotational grazing or protecting habitat on their land. It's money that shows up whether or not a single calf is sold that year. So here's the simple version. While the cows are making money, the land underneath them is often making money too. It's like a savings account that can grow itself and lower your taxes at the same time. This is why so many wealthy investors buy ranch land even if they don't care about cattle at all. The real asset is the dirt. That's the hidden money. But the biggest paydays? They come from the cows themselves. Revenue stream 2, breeding stock and genetics. Not all cows are equal. Some cows are worth $1,500. Others are worth $50,000 or more. The difference is genetics. Ranchers track something called EPDs, expected progeny, differences. That's a fancy term, so here's the simple version. It's a genetic report card that predicts how an animal's calves are likely to perform compared to the breed average before those calves even exist. A handful of elite sires, the very best of the best, can father thousands of calves a year through artificial insemination programs that ship frozen genetics to ranches across the country. The very top of the top have fathered tens of thousands of calves over a lifetime, though that's the rare exception, not the norm. Each one of those calves is worth more money because of its genetics. This is also where the truly jaw-dropping numbers come from. Elite breeding bulls have sold at auction for well over $100,000. A small number of rare, record-setting animals have sold for over $1 million for a single cow, though those sales are the extreme exception, not a realistic target for most operations. Ranchers with the best bulls and cows don't sell meat. They sell the bloodline, one straw of semen or one embryo at a time. This is the real secret behind the big numbers. It's not about raising more cows. It's about raising better cows. Cows whose babies are worth more before they're even born. A rancher with elite genetics can make more money from one bull's breeding fees in a year than another rancher makes selling an entire herd of calves at market. Genetics build the value. But there's still one revenue stream that pays the bills every single year, the one every ranch depends on. Revenue stream 3, calf sales. This is the foundation, the bread and butter. A healthy cow can have one calf a year, though in practice, most ranches wean somewhere between 85 and 93% of their herd each year, since not every cow gets pregnant or carries a calf to weaning. Ranchers raise that calf until it's weaned, old enough to leave its mum, usually around 6 to 8 months old. Using the right timing, they sell it, by the pound, at market. Sell in spring when prices are high, and you make more. Sell when the market dips, and you make less. It's simple math of supply and demand. More pounds and a higher price per pound equals more money per calf. A rancher watching the market closely might hold calves an extra few weeks to add weight, or sell early to avoid a price drop they see coming. Small timing decisions like this can shift a rancher's yearly income by tens of thousands of dollars across a herd. This is the steady paycheck. It's not flashy, like a $50,000 bull, but it's reliable. It's the revenue stream that keeps the lights on while the bigger payouts land and genetics build in the background. So that's the money coming in. But here's what nobody tells you: a huge chunk of it disappears before the rancher ever sees it. Ranching looks simple. It's not. Costs eat profit faster than you think. Cows need to eat, that's feed cost, and it's usually the single biggest expense on any ranch. Cows get sick, that's vet bills. Someone has to work the ranch, that's labor, whether it's the rancher's own time or hired hands. Tractors and fences break, that's equipment and maintenance, which never stops. Then there's the stuff no one can control. Drought can wipe out grass overnight, forcing a rancher to buy expensive hay just to keep the herd alive. And prices for cattle swing up and down in cycles that can last years. This is called the cattle cycle. And historically, these cycles run anywhere from 8 to 12 years, peak to peak. When herd numbers across the country are low, prices climb. When everyone rebuilds their herds at once, prices crash. A rancher can do everything right and still get squeezed by a cycle they have no control over. Add it all up, and it's common for feed, labor, vet care, and equipment to eat 60 to 80% of a rancher's total revenue before any profit is left over. In simple terms, ranching is a game of income versus risk. The rancher isn't just raising cows, they're managing weather, markets, and expenses all at once, all year long. That's why the ranchers who make real money aren't necessarily the ones with the most cows. They're the ones who manage costs the best. So if that's the cost side, what does it actually look like when all three revenue streams come together on a ranch? Let's zoom out and see the whole picture at once. Picture a mid-sized ranch running 300 mother cows on 2,000 acres. In a given year, that ranch might wean and sell around 280 calves at market, reflecting a typical to 90+% weaning rate, and that's the steady, foundational income. A handful of its best cows and bulls might also generate breeding fees or high-value calf sales from superior genetics. That's the accelerator. And underneath all of it, the land itself is often appreciating year over year, while ag tax exemptions, where the ranch qualifies, quietly reduce overhead. None of these three streams alone makes someone a millionaire overnight, but layered together, year after year, they compound. The calf sales fund daily operations. The genetics push profit margins higher than the average rancher down the road, and the land appreciation builds long-term wealth that shows up on a balance sheet, not a bank statement. That's the real answer to the question we started with. Cattle ranching isn't one income stream pretending to be a business. It's three separate financial engines running at the same time on the same piece of land.